my name is Isaiah. This is my dog Koba. Koba just turned 2 years old. He's a South African Mastiff, a Boerboel.
He is a South African Boerboel. He gonna be a stud dog.
Correct.
Why do you think he'd make a good stud dog?
I think, you know, so everything you want in a dog, from appearance to performance, protection, so the temperament, I think he's well versatile. So in terms of his presence, I mean, it speaks for itself. He's well built. I think he's well proportioned. You know, he's got a good size on him. And then in terms of behavior and temperament, I mean, I've had Koba since he was 6 weeks. So we've always just kind of, you know, spent a lot of time together, and I took pride into making sure, you know, he lived up to, you know, his expectation and reputation of being, you know, a well-suited Mastiff dog that's, you know, good for families. So I've been training him since he was 6 weeks. I could take him out in public, and I never have any worries or concerns in terms of his behavior.
So when you take him out in public, what kind of places do y'all go?
I mean, we go to the park, the neighborhood park. We'll go to restaurants. We'll go to the beach. So we'll be down by the lake. I mean, pretty much anywhere that you could think of. I mean, he's been inside of Home Depot, so retail stores, shopping plazas, you know, high traffic areas. He's been inside the West Side Market, which is one of the largest indoor markets, you know, in the country. So that's here in Cleveland. So he's been in there, and, you know, he's just like, you know, a big dog, so he generates a lot of attention. So it could be overwhelming at times, but, you know, he handles all those situations pretty well. It doesn't seem like it's ever too much stress on him. He likes the attention, and he knows how to handle it.
He got a good reputation in the community.
Correct.
You know, like a lot of the people talk about that.
Yeah. I would say he's the community dog. Everybody knows him. Everybody, you know, Koba this, Koba that. I have a lot of kids on my street, and if he's hanging out in the front yard, you know, a lot of people would be concerned with leaving their big dog in the front yard. Come here. As of right now, you know, there's dogs walking by. Koba, stay, sit. And it's just off of, hey, nope, hey, sit, Koba. Koba, yeah, he knows them. But he's not following command. Hey, get up here. Get up here right now. Sit. You know, they played well together, and he made a new friend. So he's really, you know, he's well socialized with other dogs, as well as humans. You don't want a dog that could just, you know, kind of be wild.
Yeah, he got very good behavior. And I think that's a lot to do with your socialization.
Correct.
You know, like you said, you've been socializing that dog ever since he was
6 weeks, yeah.
He's been exposed to, so he got a sense of what you're going to accept, and he knows that you're not encouraging him to be aggressive.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So because of that, he's trying to follow what is the procedure of the house.
Correct.
What are the protocols? Mm-hmm. You know, he stick to the guidelines. And so when we was at the park, and the other dog came, mm-hmm. like he really talk about how what is he primarily interested and focused on is pleasing you as an owner.
Yeah. So that particular instance, we were at the park, and you know, obviously getting some footage, and another dog shows up. I believe it's a husky shepherd mix, so fairly large dog. Fetch, and, you know, Koba immediately, you know, he sees the dog, and he's interested. You know, he wants to go play fetch, wants to introduce himself, but you know, he looks back at me. He always does like this double take and looks back, and, you know, it's like the cue, like, can I go? Like, do I sit? What do you want me to do? And so it's always like on a permission basis, like, can he do something? So immediately, as soon as I say sit in the open field, no shock collar on, because we didn't have the shock collar, but he just sits and then waits for the cue. It was probably about a good 25 minutes before I let him introduce himself. You know, the owner said that, you know, he could say hi, so we got that approval. And hey, come here. Right now he's kind of walking out the yard. We got the gate open. Come here. And so yeah, he always follows suit. And I think that's really important. So once I allowed him to introduce himself to the dog, they got acquainted.
So, yeah, touch on that again, like how he always is looking to you for cues.
Okay, so if we're walking around the neighborhood, every time, he gets probably about a good 3.5 feet that he could kind of pull, like, walk away from me. And if he senses that he gets too far ahead of himself, and he'll look back, like, to see if I'm gonna correct him or check him or not. Or if we get to a crosswalk, it's immediately a sit, lay, and he'll obey those commands, 99% of the time. And it was a quote that kind of Jordan always told me, like, the reason that we do all this behavioral training and structure is that if a dog doesn't obey your command, that could result into the death of the dog. And you want to let your dog know that, like, if you don't listen to me in these situations, this could cost you your life, or better yet, somebody else's life, or even my own. So structure is a really big thing, especially when it comes to a large breed dog. I feel like being my first dog that I actually kind of raised and took pride in training, I don't want to say it was easy, but I was willing to put in the time. And I feel like a lot of times people jump into getting a large breed dog for their first dog, and it could be a mistake, which will lead to consequences, and sometimes that's not what you want. You got to put in a lot of time with the dog. You got to let them know that you're in charge and assert your dominance, and they want to be alpha.
His temperament.
His temperament. Okay, so early on, the way we handled them, and what do you call it? Early neurological stimulation.
Yeah, so it's just handling.
Yeah, so the way I handled them from early on, I didn't carry them around a lot, but I would pick them up. I let them know that I could pick you up, I could move you, I could put you where I need you to be, and he's always been receptive to that. I immediately socialize him with my family, my younger siblings. You want them to be, well-rounded, especially when it comes to kids and adults. So, putting them in those situations early on, and he's always responded well. We've never had any outlashes or anything, any misbehaviors where I've had to question, his ability to, listen or to even be confident in them.
African Boerboel breed.
The breed, so I'd say the South African Boerboel breed itself is a large breed dog. They grow pretty fast. Within a year, he's over 100 pounds. Now at 2 years, I would say he's anywhere between like 160 to maybe 170. 160 to 170. He's on the lean side. He eats a lot. I think, what's the large bag of kibble? It's a 44 pound, or is it 33? So we do 33 pounds a month, maybe a little more than that. So he eats fairly well. He's better than I do. He's very easygoing. It's not like a hyper dog that you get running around all the time. He's very mellow, chill, but I also think that comes with his environment and how he's handled. If you keep him caged up and just, you don't stimulate him. These dogs need a lot of exercise. They're meant to be out on farms and have a lot of land to roam. So having them in the city, it's very important that you exercise this dog daily. So, as a puppy, he was getting taken out in the morning, he was going on a walk. When I would come home from work, he was getting a walk, we go to the park. So he's always doing something. And then in terms of stimulating him and just kind of making his mind work and think, is that, when we go for walks, at stop sign, it's sit, stay, paw, other paw. And they're highly intelligent because he was learning these things, a sit, paw, lay, within his first 6 months. It wasn't like I was waiting for him to be a year old to do these things. So, I would say that, he's easily trainable, but, that's all with, time and consistency. You want to talk about his intelligence? So the intelligence of the Boerboel of Koba.
The smartest dog you ever had.
Yeah, for sure. I think he's able to pick up on different sounds. I don't know if it's just me, but I have 2 roommates, and he's able to decipher whether it's somebody who lives here and somebody who's not. So if it's a familiar sound, whether it's like my roommate's car or he just knows, like, and you know, anybody else, you know, he'll give the cue, he'll bark, he'll do his job, but you know, when I have a family member like my roommate come in, you know, it's like he just knows and he picks up on it pretty quick. And just like the intelligence, I mean, you talk about training him. You know, he picked up on sit and paw probably before he was 8 weeks old. Like in the matter of just showing him a treat, putting it by his nose, making his butt touch, giving him the paw. Like he learned that stuff fairly quick. He knows what bed means. Like everyone says dogs don't know words, but I can say bed. He'll go to his bed.